So in today's lecture, we will be moving towards your fifth unit, and this fifth unit, as it suggests, this is entirely based upon your power system stability analysis. Okay, so first you have to know what this stability analysis means. So and why it is necessary to perform such kind of stability analysis, you have to know. Uh, Initially, as I said, uh, for example, you can just take back around some 3 to 4 years backwards. So during that period, what happened was there was a blackout at our capital of India, New Delhi. So for a period of nearly around somewhere around more than 24 hours, the entire city was in a blackout. There was no power supply to the entire city. So actually, what happened? There was a stability issue. So due to the stability issue, the power grid was not able to handle such a uh, heavy amount of problem. So generally, what happened was that during that period, the our national grid, okay, our national grid was of only two grids. One is your southern grid, and other one is your northern grid. So during that period, what happened was there was a mismatch in the grid frequency between these two southern and the northern grid. So that mismatch was heavily affected the city of New Delhi because the load over there was highly dense when compared to the other parts. It was highly dense. So basically, you know that you have to maintain the power frequency of around 50 hertz, right? You have to maintain somewhere around 50 hertz. But what happened was that the frequency was dropped more less than 50 hertz, somewhere around it went around 48 hertz. But the maximum permittable allowable by the EB is around somewhere around 49.2 something. 2 it can be go around somewhere around 50.7. So these will be your lower limit and this will be your upper limit. So around these frequency variations, it is allowable. So below this, if it's going, means it will be affecting the power system network. Okay, the power system network gets affected if the power frequency is dropping in a huge variation. So basically what happens is that the grid stability decreases. So the main reason behind this is the load. So you might have next semester you will be studying power system operation and control. So the basics of that will be starting from this endpoint of this power system analysis. That is from this unit 5. That is uh, you have to allocate proper loads at proper timing. Okay, that's a very important task by a power system engineer. So what happened is that you itself knew that the traffic from Porur to Sriperumbudur will be heavy in the morning during the period of somewhere around 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. It will be a heavy traffic. A heavy traffic will be there. So what happens? This will be the peak hour for the traffic over there. Similar to that, the peak hour of load can be experienced uh, by an engine experienced when during the night time, that too at 7 p.m. to somewhere around 10 p.m. So that is most of the working people will be doing their household chores around these period. Okay, so this remains as a peak demand period. Okay, in a city side, but this is not the same peak demand period at a rural side. So those difference will be there. So based upon the region and the location, this peak demand will be based upon the location and the time period, the peak demand gets varied. Okay, the peak demand gets varied. So what happened was that on that day there was a sudden peak demand at New Delhi. There was a sudden peak demand rise at the New Delhi. So during that period there were metros and all also. So the for that itself a huge amount of consumption was required. So due to that, the instability in the frequency was caused, and you might be asking how, sir, this instability in the frequency, how it might be related with the entire power grid. So basically, what happened is that at your power plant side, okay, you will be having a for example, you can take a thermal power plant. So in the thermal power plant, you will be heating the coal, right? You will be heating the coal, and after heating this coal, the heat will be generated, and this heat will be passed out to a turbine. It will be passed out to a turbine, and this turbine will be start to rotate. It will be starting to rotate, and this turbine middle part will be connected to a shaft of the generator. So by this generator, there will be electromagnetic flux involved, and it cuts the magnetic field to form the EMF. Through that EMF only you will be generating your electricity. So what happens is that here you will be making use of this synchronous generator. So it is a synchronous generator, and this synchronous generator will be particularly operating at a frequency, that is your synchronous speed, and it will be running at a synchronous speed. So that is ns, which is equal to 120 f divided by p. So this p remains a constant for that particular synchronous generator, whereas the speed differs. Okay, the speed differs as the frequency differs. It is very obvious from this equation. It's very obvious from this particular equation. As the frequency differs, your speed also differs. Okay, so actually based upon this only, there was an instability caused at one of the synchronous generator around the substation, and they were forced to shut down the particular section, load section of which will be coming under the New Delhi region. So that is what caused over there, and it is the main reason for that blackout also. Okay, so so this is one of the reason why you have to know about this stability analysis. So that's what is the topic, first topic. So the importance of the stability analysis, the power system, and then the power system planning and operation. So this planning and operation, a small brief content will be given. The planning of operation is the thing what we will be studying in the next semester as a separate subject, that is power system operation and control. Okay, and the second topic what we will be dealing with is the power system stability. Will be classification will be seeing. We'll be seeing about the classification, and you will be dealing with the angle and voltage stability. So this synchronous generator will be depending upon the angle and the voltage also. So you might have studied in your machines 2 about the synchronous generator. There you might have studied about the EMF equation. The same equation will be dealing with and with that equation, how that equation will be depending upon the voltage as well as your angle. So how the EMF generator particularly involves with these two parameters we will be dealing with, and after that we will be seeing with your single machine infinite bus system, that is SMIB. Regarding the single machine infinite bus, I have already told in the first unit itself that we might have seen with the three bus system, single machine three bus system we might have seen. Similar to that, over here we'll be making use of a single machine, but the number of buses will be infinite. So this is the what is corresponding to your power system network. Okay, this is what is corresponding to your power system network, entire network. Okay, so for the power system network, at the power plant side, you will be making use of a single synchronous generator, which will be coming with respect to your single machine. But from there, you will be stepping up and stepping down. You might have know the single line diagram, which you have studied in your transmission and distribution subject. So there you might be stepping down and stepping down, and you will be connecting with the different number of buses of various voltage ranges. Okay, so that's what your infinite bus represents. Okay, and for that particular system we will be developing a swing bus equation, swing equation, so that we'll be dealing with when I am dealing with the swing equation, the particular topic. Okay, and from this swing equation we will be learning about the equal area criterion. It's a very important topic in the exam point of view, as well as it is a very important topic that you have to know. Okay, so equal area criterion, that also I will be telling you when I am covering that particular topic, because the swing equation and the equal area criterion are nearly interdependent. Okay, both are interdependent. So during that period we will be seeing, and after that determination of critical angle we will be seeing. This critical angle also plays a very important role in the stability part. And after that, solution of the swing equation using your modified Euler method. So these are the things we will be dealing with the fifth unit, and the first half of the fifth unit will be dealt up to your fourth point. Up to this, it will be covering your first part, and the second part will be with respect to your equal area criterion, critical angle, and the Euler method. Okay. So moving to the power system stability, I might have told you might have got some idea with the example what I have told you. And the power system stability, here they are defining it as the nothing but a property of a power system that enables it to remain in a state of operating equilibrium. So this equilibrium is a very important word that you have to consider. Okay, actually what they're saying is that it's a property of a power system that enables it to remain in a steady state. So the state of operating equilibrium under normal operating condition is nothing but a steady state. It doesn't represent your subtransient or faulty conditions. Okay, so this directly represents your steady state, and to regain an acceptable state of equilibrium after subjected to disturbance. So you know that at a steady state you will be having a system as a stable, but after introducing a fault, what happens? If the system is again able to retain its equilibrium position, then you can tell that as a highly stable system. Okay, otherwise it is not a stable system. A very simple physics concept you can take. So at the initial condition, you can take this box. Okay, so this box is in a steady state. So it is at the point A, and it is at a steady state, and it is not moved anywhere. Okay, but after a particular duration, what happens? This box is moved to a particular point C by applying a disturbance or disturbance, which is nothing but your force. You are applying from your left to right. Okay. Now, when you can say this particular system is stable, is that after that particular duration, if the system is able to again retain its previous position, that is A, or the initial position A, then the system you can tell it to be as a heavily stable system, and the performance of the stability will be interdependent upon your time period also. Okay, if the system is regaining its original position very quickly, means then you can tell that to be as a very very good uh, uh, stability property it's having, like that you can infer. Otherwise, what happens is that if it is taking a longer duration, then the rating for the system also will be stability in perspective also will be decreases. Okay, so this is what they are implementing about the power system stability. Main keyword over here is the equilibrium, which is the main keyword over here. Coming to the next one, the importance of stability in the power system. So as I said, the generator must be kept in synchronism. Okay, and if the relative motion begins to change too much, an uncontrollable oscillations may occur. So this is the effect of not maintaining your frequency as a constant. Okay, this is the effect uh, what you have to see through if the frequency is not constant. Okay, and may appear in the grid causing damage to the generators. It is very obvious that as the frequency varies, the speed of the rotor will be changing, and which will be directly affecting your generator. Okay. Therefore, relays are used to detect this condition, that is mainly your fault condition. We'll be making use of relays for finding out the fault. So that's what they are. Fault or the subtransient conditions will be making use, and it will be tripping your generators as a safety measure. The safety measure, it will be tripping your generator. Okay, and this prevents the damage. It results in under frequency and possibly load interruption. So this is what was caused at our capital. So in the worst case, even it might be getting out to the blackout. Okay, so you might be thinking maintaining a frequency might not be a very big task, but a very big task is involved behind this maintenance of frequency. Even if your frequency drops heavily for a particular range, the electricity board might be penalizing you with penalty charge. Okay, if any of you are trying to do projects, you can take this as even this also as a problem statement, and you can work over that. That is monitoring of this particular frequency value, and how to maintain it as a constant for a longer duration. You can take it as a problem statement, and you can do, because maintaining the frequency at a very longer duration as a 50 hertz is a huge tedious task. Okay, it is nearly I won't be saying it's impossible, but it's a huge tedious task. But you can take it as a problem statement, and you can see through that. Okay, so the stability analysis using linear techniques provides valuable information about the inherent dynamic characteristics. Yeah, it is interrelated. That is, the stability will be interrelated with your dynamic characteristics of the power system. Okay, so when the system the mainly the behavior of the system. So if there's a sudden voltage swell, So how your system will be behaving. So those things will be interrelated with your stability. Okay. So next is regarding the classification. This is the classification diagram. So here you can see this is the power system stability. This mainly depends upon, as we have already seen, about the rotor angle stability, then the voltage stability, and then the frequency stability. So this you already know. You might have seen the back EMF equation for your synchronous generator as E equal to V square divided by X into sine 2 del. So this equation you might have come across, right? And as per this equation, it is very obvious that so this rotor angle dependency is what given as the rotor angle stability, and then the voltage is that is the source side voltage stability is what over given here, and then the frequency stability will be directly depending upon your speed. Okay. And from this rotor angle stability, it can again be classified in two terms. That is your small disturbance angle stability and then the transient stability, because these two will be in a very smaller duration of milliseconds. Okay, that's what your short term means. These two are your short term disturbances. And coming to the voltage stability, there will be large disturbance voltage stability. For example, voltage interruptions and all large voltage stability issues, and then small disturbance is nothing but your voltage swell, voltage sag, momentary interruptions will be coming with respect to your small disturbance voltage stability issues. So, okay. We're seeing with respect to the duration, these large disturbances will be of a shorter period, whereas the small disturbances will be of a longer period. Okay, mainly the magnitude differs. The magnitude of these voltage value will be differing out, and the frequency stability will be also of your short term as well as your long term. Okay, it will also be of your short term as well as your long term. And this is again further classified. So this is another one classification with your yeah. Here you can see with some explanation they have given. Okay, this represents the definition. Okay, next is the angle stability, ability to maintain synchronism, the torque balance of the synchronous machine. So this angle stability involves the mechanical property, that is your torque stability. And over here for the voltage stability, the balance will be in case of your power, mainly your reactive power balance. Okay, and after this, again the classification what you have seen, you can just see through this. Okay, you might be getting some idea regarding how the stability issues are generated. Okay, and after this, it is about that they have given about angle and voltage stability. So we will be dealing with this angle and voltage stability in the upcoming class. Okay, in the upcoming class, we might be dealing with these things. So now you might have got some idea regarding what you can say the stability, how we have to perform the stability, what is the need to perform the stability analysis you might have seen. And next onwards, we will be diving directly into your the third topic, which is nothing but your angle and voltage stability issues.